One of the wonderful ideas that we embrace as coaches is to challenge the way things are. We're not really into just accepting everything. Instead, we want to challenge stuff. We want to challenge, is the way our client has been thinking about their world and their relationship with themselves, is it really serving them? Is it really something that's helping them become more centered and more calm and more full of love? Or is it maybe an outdated way of thinking that they're still using today that came from, like, let's call it like old world, and it's causing them problems, and we need to kind of challenge that. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I think as coaches and as people curious about coaching, we need to challenge our own thinking. We need to challenge our own ideas around what we believe about the world. And I'll give you some examples of some things that are pretty healthy to challenge. Some of the ideas, maybe from your childhood, I know they're from my childhood as well, is the way around raising people, which has caused a lot of problems for children that have now grown up into adults with problems. There's some ideas around how we feel, for example. So some outdated ideas would be something like this. Children should be seen but not, I know you know the answer, it should be seen but not heard. That is an outdated idea that essentially tells children, which when they're at their youngest age and they want to become loud and expressive and explorative, that we teach them to shut down and we teach them to fear people. Another one is boys don't cry, for example. It's another very detrimental idea or way of thinking that we need to challenge as coaches. Is that healthy? And I'll tell you now, the answer is no, it's not healthy to be able to tell anyone to hide parts of themselves. Another one is women should never be too strong or too overpowering or should never be too smart. Be careful who you share that with. That's an outdated idea. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is because part of coaching is challenging people's thinking. And our thinking is simply a collection of ideas that we have been conditioned to believe were useful. And if we grew up in a system or a family where we thought those ideas were normal because our parents probably thought they were normal, or people today still think they were normal, then we will believe them and think that's correct. Boys should not cry. And then we have an epidemic of boys that don't feel their feelings, men that don't feel their feelings. We have an epidemic of women that are undervaluing themselves because they were told not to be smart, which is ridiculous. Any of those ideas are absolutely ridiculous and deserve to be challenged. Now, the foundation of coaching is like, let's challenge these ideas, which simply means let's stack them up against what we know creates high self-esteem, which a lot of people don't know. And in coaching, that's what we're great at. We have benchmarks around, for example, self-esteem is based on how expressive someone can be, fully healthily expressing their emotions. How well do they know what they need, what to give themselves? And third, how strong are their boundaries, which are their emotional and mental and physical boundaries, which means they can say yes and no to the appropriate things and feel empowered about those decisions. Let's benchmark that up against some of those old ideas like boys can't cry. I don't think that's going to stack up against what's going to allow someone to feel healthy and have self-esteem and know their own worth and know that they're an empowered, beautiful, wonderful human individual that can go out and take lots of risks in life and be expressive and be creative. So I trust that you're loving this, because on the broadcast, one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to just explore and start to challenge, well, what are some of the ideas that have held people back from being great and doing wonderful things in their life? And what ideas do we need to kind of challenge, and how can we rewire how we think so we can live more of a centered, calm, and empowered life that is about making a difference not only for ourselves but for others. I'll see you at the broadcast.